right, let's talk about a few budget power forwards that you can sign or possibly trade for. A couple guys, I think about a guy that made honorable mention, TJ Warren, but health-wise, you just don't know where he at. I don't think we've seen TJ Warren for real hoop since the bubble, but he one of them dudes that can kind of give you versatility at the 3 or the 4 in today's game. I talked about Kelly Oubre in another video about the Cam Johnson alternative Hunter video. I talked about him, but the problem there is Kelly Oubre don't have the versatility if he not one of the guys they pick up between Cam or Hunter. He don't really have the versatility to play the 4, excuse me. He a little bit too small to play the power 4 position. But let's talk about the 3 guys I came up with. Check out Detroit Pistons Talk playlist, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. I believe we have a trade candidate and 2 free agents, but all three of them become trade candidates if they choose to sign and trade and get something for him. And I'm going to talk about Ryu Hachimura. I like what he did with the Lakers. He finally healthy. One of the things was he was not healthy in Washington. He got that leg, got an opportunity, got to get his feet wet, and he can play. I think he was at Gonzaga. He was at Gonzaga, and he shot the ball well, had some good games. And imagine if he get a training camp with a team that's giving him an opportunity. Good athlete. He could put the ball on the floor. He could spot up a little bit. He could run the floor. He could finish. Solid defensively. At the end of the day, this might be the more expensive. This might be the more expensive of the 3, in my opinion, as far as just paying over on salary. But I think you've seen enough in that playoff run that you can see that you can see the potential and the all-star potential. Now, yeah, I say all-star potential. That's within him. So, ideally, is he the guy that you want to space the floor and defend? He can put the ball on the floor, do some things, get to a spot, sit through mid-range game. I think if he could develop some more back-to-the-basket game, I think he what you look for. You're probably looking like, probably the mid-level exception, 12.4. Maybe you go up to 15 million. And what makes him kind of the exception to a guy like Dillon Brooks, he's a little bit taller than Dillon Brooks. I would think around 6'9". A little bit more thicker than Dillon Brooks, and he shoots the ball a lot more better. And I think he's just more offensively talented than Brooks. I think Brooks is more defensively talented, but just a little bit smaller. That's kind of the problem. If Brooks was like 6'9", 6'10", I think, he probably would still be in Memphis, even with his antics and stuff of that nature. So, but I believe the mid-level is at 12.4. I'm not sure if the Lakers going to be willing to really test the new luxury tax, and they really taxing teams that's putting multiple superstars together. Like I said in sports, I don't think it should be a salary cap. You should pay these jokers what they want to get paid, like baseball. But then they'll say, well, it's unfair. Our market can't afford that, and they're buying championships, so that's the problem with that too. So salary cap is supposed to keep everybody on the even playing field, even though we know it ain't so even regardless. But another guy is another free agent candidate. You can kind of do it. You can sign and trade it. Charlotte wanted to, but PJ Washington. Like his shooting potential. Another guy athletic, looking more and more comfortable shooting the 3. I like to see him rebound a lot better than he has rebounded. I like to see him be a little bit more tenacious on the boards, do a little bit more of the dirty work. But if he can finish, he got a floater. I like to see him attack the rim a little bit more aggressively. But as long as he don't bring that Brittany Renner simp energy in the locker room, I ain't got no issue with him. Shoot the ball with confidence, can put the ball on the ground. And a team that needs somebody to stretch it out, he shoot it with confidence. I think his shooting potential is just going to continue to reach that and keep peaking. Athletically, he can get to the rim. I like to see him rebound more. He's too good of an athlete not to average more rebounds. Like I said before, stretch the floor, run the floor. Can get out there athletically, move laterally, and guard some 3s, guard some 4s. He gives you some versatility there. Can put the ball on the ground a little bit. Probably want to see him play with the back to the basket a little bit more. So when you go budget, there's going to be some holes there. But he definitely I still think he got a high ceiling, man. He really do. And I think, this young team, if you get him to buy in defensively and buy in rebounding wise, this young team, they should run a lot. But also in the half-court game, he don't hurt you neither because he got a floater. He can finish at the rim. He can stretch the floor out. He can attack the rim a little bit. So, yeah, the superior athlete. So, somebody can play the 3 to 4, stay in front of some 1s and 2s, a little bit on them pick and rolls, press them, the ball handler a little bit. And I think he getting better and better and better, bro. Ball handling on point. So, some lineups, he dropped 43 versus OKC not too long ago. And so in some lineups, he can get hot and he can score. So, like I said before, he shoot around 35% from three. I ain't mad at that at the four spot. And then I'll rank him at the end. So yeah, I like what he bringing to the table. And I think when we talk about Ryu Hachimura, you talk about PJ Washington, I'm gonna talk about Obi Toppin. There's a ceiling. There's still a high ceiling to reach. Don't mean they gonna reach the ceiling or go any higher. But I think they ain't got nowhere but to go but up, like that Richard Pryor movie. But Obi Toppin's another guy you could trade for. Seemed to be in the doghouse with Tom Thibodeau. 6'9". Got to remember he was a late bloomer in college. Went to prep school. Could run, jump. I think his rebound numbers to kind of continue to go up with the type of athlete and aggressiveness he played with. Willing shooter. I think with more opportunities and more attempts, I think he might be the worst shooter out of the three. But with more opportunities and more attempts, I think he get better as a shooter. He look like a confident shooter, but when you don't get a chance to play, it's hard to get a rhythm. But we know he can dunk, we know he can run, we know he can be a better rebounder. He gonna bring a certain amount of electricity to the arena too. So, giving him a fresh start and say, you look here, man, we want you to be the starting power forward now going forward. You gonna determine whether that continues to happen. But I think he could fit. It's gonna be some growing pains getting in there, but he been around the league. He know what defense he is playing with Tom Thibodeau. 25 years young still, so yeah, man, the ability to run, his ability to run and be athletic and his shooting potential. I mean, I think he's a prime candidate, and you probably can get him for the LO. In my Shorty Low voice, rest in power, Shorty Low. For the LO, you probably get him for the low. Still on a rookie deal, and you give him an opportunity to really bust out and do his thing. So yeah, I like Obi Toppin a lot, and I think. But all three of these guys add to the athletic ability to this lineup already. You don't got no chumps when it comes to athletically. They all got better shooting potential. I think Ryu might be the best three-point shooter just from just eyeballing it. But TJ Washington's jumper look hella comfortable too. And I think what you get there is you got some versatility if you choose to keep Stewart, Bagley, and Wiseman. You got some versatility. So if you got two big guys, which you rarely see down there on some Duncan and Robinson stuff, you can rotate Duran in. Rotate Wiseman in. You can rotate Stewart in. But I think athletically, you get that much better, and I think that's the final piece, them young guys, to really, have a supreme athletic lineup. So then you say, if I can't get Cam Johnson, I got a sharpshooter. I got Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivey, Jalen Duran. They gonna run and be athletic. I can throw Obi out there. He athletic. He can run, jump. He might not be the greatest shooter, but I think he can stretch the floor. PJ Washington or Ryu Hachimura, and you're not spending a bunch of money on that four spot. And 2-3 year deal. See what they do. You might have to cash them out. You might not. So I like that athletic lineup of Ivy, Cade, let's say Cam Johnson, Duran. Provide shooter, and Brown or Ryu Hachimura. He got them Jordan 8s. I think he designed. They kind of dope. They sold out quick, or most of the sizes sold out. And Obi or PJ Washington. But if you had to say, well, which one, would you prefer? I'm gonna go ahead and say I would prefer PJ Washington. Then Ryu Hachimura close second, and third I would prefer Obi Toppin. So, yeah, I think I'll go with PJ Washington. I think it's a lot more there potentially wise. And he's been, fairly healthy. He had his injuries too. But I would just slightly give him PJ Washington the edge in this over Ryu Hachimura. I think he's going to be a little less cheaper too than Hachimura. But I like Obi too, dude. I like to see what Obi can do. He just don't have a body to work. So I like all three, man. Wouldn't be disappointed. All three came in and was received a power forward spot and see what they can do. So all of them got all-star potential in my you gotta know Obi a late bloomer, so he probably still got a lot to tap into at 25. So check out Detroit Pistons Talk playlist, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and subscribe button, it's the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance to get notifications. Hit the link tree, find me on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, the whole 9. Peace.